Hey, what up everyone, this is MandoAllDay back with another video. In this video, I'll be doing a commentary for Nova Cosmic Trial, and then I'll be doing a build guide at the very end of the video, or that second half of the video. So, let's get right into the Cosmic Trial. It's really simple, especially with Nova. To me, the way Nova was built, he is fun. He's a bit OP in my opinion, but yeah, so let's get right into it. For these guys, it's really simple. Just use your A power for small enemies in S, D, and F. S, D, and F on my pulse. I think it's called pulse powers. I can't remember top of my head, but that's usually what I do with these enemies, and it's very, very simple. Just do that. And for these enemies right here, what you want to do is just do your regular powers. You can do the S, D, and F power or pulse powers. But once they get closer to you, like it is right now, I can use signature and just do your pulse power. I think it's called pulse power. But it's very simple rotation, and honestly, just activating those pulsar powers whenever they're available, and then G, and then my A power. I only use it or activate it whenever there's multiple enemies, like right here. Signature, right here, because it has a bunch of targets and it does pretty good damage, but it hits a lot of targets, which is a good thing. So again, very easy with Nova. So it's really simple. Rotation is pulsar powers whenever you can. When there's a lot of enemies, like for here, go hit A, and it hits a lot of enemies, and then simple, and then G is whenever you can too. Does a lot of damage as well. So it's a very simple rotation. It's just pulse powers whenever you can. Like this over here has 3 charges. Oops, one button. That's okay. 3 raw power, but it's alright. Now the good thing about a signature, it resets the cooldown of some of the powers, so keep that in mind. But it's really, really simple. Look at that. Easy. So then all you do is pulse powers here, G, signature, and then A, S, D, 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 F, and then G. It's just whenever the powers are available, just activate them, like for D 3 times, charges F, G, and then A, and then use my main spender, and then S, D, F, G, signature to reset the cooldowns, and then same thing again. So it's really simple. Just do note that his signature does reset the cooldown of the powers. It doesn't recharge them all, but he resets the cooldown. And for this enemy, same thing. A, and then S, D, F, G, and so on. So it's pretty simple, pretty boring, but you know what? He is a bit OP in my opinion. I mean, I don't even have fully maxed out with pets, and he's already doing quite some amount of damage. I can only imagine what he does when he's fully decked out and geared up. So, simple signature, A, S, D, F, G. And the way I have it set up with the talents is that, if I remember correctly, I have one of the talents that the cooldown of the signature is reduced by 1 second whenever I activate a cooldown power. So hence why my signature's always been reactivated multiple times. It's because of that talent. I'm pretty sure that's what it does. So look at that. I don't know what the damage is doing. It's so OP. But he's fun. He's cool. Before the biggest update, he was okay. Some people liked him, some people didn't. I was one of the people that didn't like him. But he looked cool. He had good visuals. But post biggest update, man, he is. A lot of people are using him as main. Same with Mr. Fantastic. I recently started playing with Mr. Fantastic. Jesus. Mr. Fantastic is super OP. So if you're wondering which character should you play, you know, post biggest update ever, definitely Mr. Fantastic. He's super OP. Same with Human Torch and Stinger. Essentially OP, but so far the biggest OPs are Nova. Definitely, what's his name? Ghost Rider, Mr. Fantastic, and I want to say that's it off the top of my head for right now. I haven't tried with any of those summons. I know the typical ones are Dr. Doom and Ultron. I hear those, they got a nerf pretty bad. I haven't tried them just yet. I'm kind of scared to try them because I know, well, I have a feeling that if I try them, I will be disappointed. But anyways, A here with these enemies, hit all of them. S, D, and F. Same thing right here. Do D, has just any pulse powers. Same thing here. Watch, I'm gonna use A, and it's gonna hit a lot of enemies. D, F, just pulse powers. G, use damage to get rid of the signature here. A, S, D, A here and hits a bunch of enemies. I think up to 7 targets, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Easy peasy. Just like so. Same thing again. Bring the enemies together, or just go in areas with a lot of enemies and just do your powers. Signature here. A. S. D. 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 F. G. Then S again. Doing so is because his pulsar powers do a lot of damage. And there's a bunch of them too. And the good thing about the signature is it resets the cooldown, so you essentially what you're doing is you're always activating those powers, just like so. Easy peasy. And I'll just do one at a time. So here and here, boom. Signature, I don't really need it, but just for the sake of this. So easy. I said it before and I'll say it again multiple times. Do damage to Red Skull once he hits the 3-minute mark. And then start doing damage to Red Skull. But until then, do damage to these guys. These guys will annoy you. I know they annoy me, so if they annoy me, I'm pretty sure they annoy you. Easy peasy. And there we go. Start doing your damage to Mr. Red Skull over here. Now, ultimate, for the catalyst, I have it to where I gain 1,000 extra damage rating on a signature, so I would suggest do your signature first and then do your ultimate, and that way you can benefit from that 1,000 damage. And then as soon as you do the ultimate, it's just activate your other power as fast as you can. That way you can take advantage of that 1,000 damage rating. Easy peasy, easy. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, perfect. Damage to him really quick. G. Signature. Ultimate. And then just do your power as much as you can. Take advantage of it because this catalyst gives you extra damage rate, 1,000 damage rating for like 4 seconds, I think. You gotta be quick with it. And just keep doing your other damage, your other powers. I think I'm gonna activate signature again. Signature. Over here, do damage to this here. I like the visual. So, once again, I'll repeat the rotation. It's simple. Activate your pulsar powers whenever you can. G, usually do it after my pulsar powers. And A, whenever there's multiple targets, activate A. Or if not, just activate it whenever, because the way I have it set up here is that when I use a power that has a cooldown, it decreases 1 second on my signature's my signature's cooldown. Sorry. So every time I activate a power that has a cooldown, the cooldown of my signature is reduced by 1 second per power. So you can imagine. Signature here, and yeah, really rotating the active power, just like so. See? Easy peasy, no infinity points were used, and I'll show you guys items I used.
Red Skull shall always
there we go. That's that, and then no infinity points were used, just to show you guys even more evidence. And that's it. So again, now we'll continue on with the build guide. Alright, now let's get into the build guide. So the first thing we're going to look at are the artifacts. So the first artifact is our Iron Legion Armor Sheath. I'm using this for the +5 energy, brutal strike rating increase, health increase, and damage rating to summon powers. Overall, really good stats for this artifact. I mean, for Nova, obviously the summon powers is irrelevant, but everything else is really good stats, especially for that +5 energy, because Nova's main attributes are speed and energy. So having this artifact on Nova is really good. Next is Lizard's Formula. I'm using this for the attack speed increase, damage rating increase, +1 speed, but also 2, when you critical hit, recover 100 health and 5 Nova Force, which is Spirit. Overall, really good stats, but I will have to roll this because having that +1 speed is pretty low. I think the max for this artifact is 2, and also 2, the damage rating and the attack speed should be higher. So for right now, this is what I use. Not the best roll for this artifact, but it'll do for now. Next, the medallion I'm using is Ultron. I'm using this for the health increase, energy damage rating increase, critical hit rating to energy attacks, +1 energy, and deflect rating increase. But also 2, gain 2.1 Nova Force when you hit, which is good because he does consume a lot of Nova, or Spirit, however you want to call it. So having that Nova generation per hit is really good. Next is Scroll Energy Rifle Focusing Crystal. I'm using this for the +3 energy damage rating, and critical hit rating. But also 2, I recover 3.7 Nova Force when you hit with an energy power. Overall, really good artifact with really good stats for Nova. Last but not least is Crossbone Siege Credentials. I'm using this for the critical hit rating, brutal strike rating, +2 energy, damage rating increase to range and melee powers, and when you critically hit, gain brutal damage rating, which stacks up to 3 times. Overall, really good stats for Nova. For the Forge, 800 defense, and have the Blessing of Power dupe. For Legendary, I'm using Cosmic Control Rod. No, it's not even fully ranked to 5, but I'm using this for the energy damage rating, regenerating 500 health on enemy defeat, critical hit rating to energy attacks, and gain 25 Nova Force when you defeat an enemy. So really good Legendary for Nova. And then for the ring, I'm using a Cosmic Ring that grants me critical damage rating, 1000 critical damage rating, plus 588 critical damage rating, and +1 energy. So a decent Cosmic Ring. Maybe not the best, but like I said, it'll do for now. Now for slots 1 through 5, I use slots 1, 3, and 5, they're Cosmic. And then slots 2 and 4 are his uniques. All the uniques are pretty decent. Yeah, I would say I would probably recommend using his uniques instead of his Cosmic, but yeah, his uniques will do just fine. Then for costume, I'm using Enhanced Nova Sam Alexander costume, which I think is awesome. And then for Catalyst, I have it to where I increase my XP by 6%, defense rating increase, damage rating to melee powers increase, and +2 speed. Cosmic, after using a signature power, gain 1000 damage rating for 4 seconds. Crafted affixes, critical damage rating as always. Cosmic bonus, 50% chance when you hit to gain 10 spirit, which is kind of pointless, but whatever. And this also has 1000 defense rating increase. And for Insignia, I'm using Insignia of Gamora. When you hit with any power, you and your allies gain 265 melee damage rating increase and brutal damage rating. But also this increases my critical damage rating and health increase. And for Spray, or for Flourish, it's Falcon Spray. I think it's pretty cool. I'm using this because it's gold, and Nova's a bit, to me, he's more of like a character that has a lot of gold. So hence why I'm using that. It's kind of cheesy, I know, but it's something I wanted to do. And for the pet, I only have one thing on here, which is a +1 energy, and that's that. And for team up, I use Jubilee. Now for the powers I use, top to bottom, left to right. Minor Beam, Unstable Pulsar, a Magneton Pulsar, Supermassive Pulsar, can't even pronounce this, Gravimetric Surge, Nova Dash, and Falling Star. Oh, and also Lightspeed Strike. Again, Infinity Points number used. Hero Synergy. Angela for the area damage rating increase and +1 speed. Cable for the critical hit rating multiplier. Hawkeye for the move speed and critical damage rating increase. Human Torch for the area damage increase. Iron Man for the range power and energy damage increase. Juggernaut for the movement power damage increase. Squirrel Girl for the damage to bosses increase. Star-Lord for the critical hit rating multiplier to energy powers. Winter Soldier for the range power and melee power damage increase. And Wolverine for the brutal strike and brutal damage. Now for the talents and traits. For the first row, I use Cosmic Shock Wave. Movement power damage is increased by 25%. When using movement power 3 times, energy damage about 26,000. Cooldown of 6 seconds. So what this talent does, it increases my movement powers by 25%, which I have, I believe, 2, yeah, which is good, by 25%. And when I use a movement power 3 times, I do area damage about 26,000. So overall, really good talent for this particular build, because I do have 3 powers that I use quite often, and so having that extra damage, the damage increase by 25% is good, and also too having that extra damage of, when I use the movement power 3 times is really good, like I said. The second row is Pulsar Proximity Amplification. While standing near an active pulsar, the total damage is increased by 10%, Nova Shield generated by 5% per second, and health regenerated 350 per second. So what this does is whenever I activate a pulsar power and I'm standing near it, my total damage is increased by 10% and so forth. So what this means is that whenever I'm standing near, like I mentioned, one of these powers over here, which is S, D, and F, my damage is increased, and everything. My damage is increased, the Nova Shield is increased, and health regeneration is increased. So that's what essentially this talent does. Third row is Pulsar Field. When you use a Pulsar power, fire a second Pulsar of the same type at nearby random locations. So what this does is it kind of duplicates, or you get double of the power. So for instance, right now I'm going to deactivate it, and I'm going to activate my S power, which is super massive, and you're going to see it's going to shoot 1. Now what this does, it grants you 2. So instead of having 1, there's 2. But the second one is randomly at random locations. So I'm going to point into this gentleman right here, and the other one's going to go either same location, or just somewhere random. There's 2 now. So that's what this talent does. Fourth row is Pulsar Proximity Control. Pulsars now detonate instantly. This counts as detonating a pulsar with a power. So without this, when you activate my S, D, and F power, just like it is right now, they're just there, and there is a detonation time. Each one's a little different. Although actually they're all the same, sorry. It's about 6 seconds. But what this talent does is, instead of having a detonation time of 6 seconds, they automatically detonate right away. So I'll show you what it means now. So you notice how it detonates, there's no waiting for it to detonate. So that's what that talent does. And then the fifth row is Gravimetric Acceleration. Reduce the cooldown of Gravimetric Surge, which is signature, by 1 second when you use the cooldown power. As I mentioned in the Cosmic Trial portion, with this talent, is whenever my signature is in cooldown, whenever I activate a power that has a cooldown, like for instance right now, the cooldown of the signature is reduced by 1 second. So for instance, if I use A,
I need
I need to pick a target. So let's do F, and then with G, and it goes down S. And so I want that talent because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 powers that have a cooldown, so I can just activate them all, and it just keeps reducing the cooldown on my signature. In which, in turn, when I activate my signature, it resets all my powers, and I can reuse them again. But also, too, the signature does quite a bit of damage. But also, too, the signature grants you a speed bonus and energy bonus and movement speed for about 5 seconds. So hence why I chose this talent, because I always want that signature to be activated, because not only does it do a lot of damage, it resets the cooldown of my powers, but also too, I get that damage bonus. So right now we're going to go into the rotation. As I mentioned in Cosmic Trial, it's really easy. My main spender is Minor Beam. Use it whenever you can. That's going to be your main spender, but also it's going to regenerate your spirit. And for the rest, it's really simple. Activate S, D, and F whenever you can. They do quite a bit of damage, and they do a lot of area damage. So I'll show you guys. Activate them wherever. So here you go. Just like so. G does a lot of damage. Just activate G wherever there's a lot of enemies. Just like that. And then my A power, I use it honestly whenever there's a lot of enemies, that's a perfect time to utilize my A power, which is light speed. So I'll show you guys what I mean by that. So I'm going to activate the power here, and you notice that Nova's going to hit all these enemies. Maybe not all, but you get the point. And then that's really it. Now for Nova Dash, I'm using Nova Dash because it does quite a bit of damage, but also too, if I hold it, now the damage is increased by double. It's by 100%. So it does pretty good damage, but I'm using it because that way I can just activate it and whenever it can, and there is no cooldown. So some people will prefer to use Blast Off, which is good too. And the good thing about Blast Off is, if I can get it on here, is it has a cooldown. So if you were to activate your signature, it will help out to reduce the cooldown. So it's really up to you. I'm just showing you guys a different method, but I prefer to choose Nova Dash because it's unlimited, and also if I would fully charge it, the damage of it will increase by 100%. So, and yeah, that concludes my build guide for Nova. Really simple, really straightforward. It's just activate S and D and F whenever you can, G at the same time, and A whenever you can too. But if you have a lot of enemies, like I just showed you guys, then perfect time to use light speed strike. And then obviously you want to use signature whenever you can, because that way you get that speed and energy bonus and movement bonus. But also too, it does quite a bit of damage, and it resists the cooldowns of your powers. And yeah, that concludes my build guide for Nova. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section below. Any requests for certain characters, leave it in the comment section below. If this video was helpful for you guys as far as getting into Nova, leave it in the comment section below. If you want to keep up to date with my channel and support the channel, please do subscribe to my channel. Not only does it help the channel grow, but also means a lot to me as well. And yeah, that concludes it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and on to the next one. Bye bye.